You absolutely cannot use this. However,
not only did we work hard, we played hard.
We were all always willing to laugh at ourselves.
We were having a panel discussion, I think at the Sheraton up in Harrisburg. Now, when it came to Denny Hevner, he said, well, I've heard what the attorney thinks, and I've heard what the realtor thinks, and I've heard what the other guy thinks, and I think I'll get a drink. And he got up and went to the bar.
Bob Brandt decided to have a meeting to wake us up as to the cost of running the thing and how much we could lose. And
he put us into a barn and had us sitting there on benches and sawhorses and plywood tables, and said, this is how bad it could get.
We had little Cindy in there. I had to go out to my car and get a blanket out of the back of my car to wrap her up so she didn't freeze.
Nobody really realized what he was doing until it was done with.
As John Moomaw said at one of our board meetings, nobody here has fire in their belly. And boy, did that stir up a real ruckus.
Some of the inventiveness that the board members can come up with when they're trying to figure out ways to incent people to reach certain goals.
You can't really replace Dave Dvorak riding through the host on a donkey.
I actually offered to shave off my beard if we did it.
The one with Denise coming in as Cleopatra is one that will stick in my mind forever.
Even Bob Brandt, his whole introduction of Dave Dvorak as our president, talking about the pretty boy.
And a grease pig chase.
I took off my shoes, I ran up to a table, I stood on it, and I went, yeah, hey, and I went backwards, and I all but fell out the window.
For a relatively handsome guy, Jack became let's say, a Texas cheerleader that could pass muster.
that's the kind of social thing I remember.
But anyway.
Beef and beans. Depending on who's eating beans, they kind of make it a little bit more lively than other years.
Trying to convince everybody else that we were really having the best beans of our lives.
And more or less making fun of the beef eaters.
That was a lot of fun. The competition just added a lot of additional fun to it.
We had a lot of good times, not only at beef and bean dinners, but the norm was after board meetings, we went out for dinner someplace. And most of these guys knew pretty well how to party and were experienced at it, so we had some good times.
It was always fun to go to the conventions, the national conventions, because you really had time to get to know each other a lot, as well as when you were on the board, you had time to get to know each other, which otherwise you probably never would have become friends with. We become friends with a lot of the people that we worked with at that time.
Good friends and good camaraderie. And we laughed a lot at those, I'll tell you.
I remember being at a picnic where the beer truck was pulling away and we weren't done. So Bob found a soup pot and I'm running behind the beer truck tap as Kevin Snoke's holding the lever. It's pulling away and we're filling the soup pot up because we're not ready to go.
I just remember that everybody was very jolly and very happy. And
never lost sight of the humor in it and the need to continue to smile and to think positive.